Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews, and this is my review for The Mandalorian Season 3, the finale. Yes, The Mandalorian has come to an end in Season 3. 8 episodes have come and gone, and with this finale I am left completely indifferent, it has to be said. I've not reviewed episodes 6, 7 and the finale up till now because I've been away, and I watched 7 and 8 specifically back to back, and I have to say Moff Gideon's return is one hell of a wet lettuce. There are going to be some spoilers here. Everybody's pretty much already watched and reviewed all this, so what I say here will have no consequence. I'm sure won't get any views at all, but suffice to say, I found season 3, this episode in specifically, to be absolutely hollow, lacking any real emotional depth, any real quantitative storytelling. It's been catchphrases and plot contrivances galore. It's been up and down, it's been yo-yo, it's been any buzz phrase you could possibly give for inconsistency this season. And one thing that's really irked me is the sort of passing off. One of the few things that really bugged me, some of the commentary around the season is, the Mandalorian, the title is in reference to all Mandalorians. And this is because there's been comments about Din basically becoming a secondary character in his own series. With regards to the Mandalorian title being a reference to all Mandalorians, absolutely no. I disagree 100%. We were sold this show on the proviso of a lone gunslinger in a galaxy far, far away who uncovers a plot to kidnap a child. And he takes this child and starts running, to escape the bad men. As simple as that. And now it's become other people's stories, other people's journeys, other people's matters, other people's problems, other people's whinges, other people's gripes, other people's nonsense devices. It's become something else entirely. It's not the show that we were shown originally, and we got hints of that in season 2 with the amount of cameos that were being bandied around. And thankfully, most of those characters in those cameos don't appear in this series, in this season. They've got their own projects going forward. Whether you want, the spin-offs or not, they're happening. In this season, though, instead of Bo-Katan Kryze being given her own TV show, we have her entire journey, her entire, coming back to becoming a full-fledged Mandalorian, becoming the leader of Mandalore, all in this season. And unfortunately for me, it's been completely flat because it's felt rushed, it's felt contrived right the way through. We've had an entire planetary war, taking back Mandalore, all in the space of 2 episodes, pretty much, and it wasn't even that interesting. All the shooting and shouting and buzz phrases from Moff Gideon amounted to nothing. I'm not really going to go too much in depth into the nitty-gritty of the episode. Suffice to say that episode 6 was Cameo Fest with Jack Black and some other lady whose name I can't remember. And, it was about droids rebelling. Or droids going crazy. Interesting. It was okay. Well, I say it was okay. I really didn't enjoy that episode. It was just another filler episode in a nothing burger filler season. And then we got episode 7, which is the return of Moff Gideon, and he's talking to the Empire, all these other warlords, and it's the prologue of the episode is deep and filled with references to the sequel trilogy, to Heir to the Empire, the Expanded Universe trilogy novels about Grand Admiral Thrawn, which is a fantastic, trilogy of novels. Bloody hell, they're going to be doing all that. They're going to be doing Heir to the Empire. They've Captain Pelion's there. We've got all this. Oh, Project Necromancer. It's just throwing stuff at you to basically confuse you. And I turned to my missus, who's got no idea about any of this, and she just looked utterly confused. We had to pause the episode so I could explain what little I knew. I say little, I'm being modest. What I knew about what all this meant and what I could surmise and guess from it. And she went, well, she literally said, when I started watching this, I was watching it because it was easygoing, it wasn't connected, and it was, simple to follow. And now it's become everybody else's story. There you go. So, Moff Gideon obviously wants to destroy the Mandalorians. He doesn't want them to come back together. So this episode is a huge reveal where, all the Mandalorians are now united. They go to Mandalore to set up a base, to reclaim the planet as theirs. And woo, surprise, surprise, Moff Gideon's there with a fully fledged base. How long has that base been there? Remember when Din Djarin was there on the ground? They could still have communications when you're inside the atmosphere. So surely they would have tracked Din Djarin landing the N1 starfighter there when he landed a couple of weeks before. But no, none of that, because continuity and all that, whatever. So yeah, all these Mandalorians band together. Moff Gideon, comes out, and lo and behold, he is wearing a power suit. It's a reimagined Dark Trooper suit. Essentially, it's an Iron Man suit, like all the Iron Man villains in the MCU, because they had no creative investment in their villains in the MCU with the mediocre villains. He literally just puts on a suit. It changes his voice slightly to make him sound more evil, and he sprouts evil words. There is nothing to Moff Gideon. He screams and shouts. He does all this. He does all that, and eventually, in this finale, he's killed unceremoniously. What a waste of Giancarlo Esposito. If that's his name, Giancarlo, yeah, I think it is. It's definitely Giancarlo. What a waste of a fabulous actor to come back for two meaningless, faff around glorified cameos. Because is it even him in the suit? We see his face. No, it's just exactly like Din Djarin. It's not really Pedro Pascal. It's just doing the voice. It is a cartoon show. I will give it that. It has all the markers, the way it's staged, the way it's set, the way it's played out, like a cartoon show, which is fine. But there is no emotional investment here. It's not rooted in anything tangible. It's all just, everything's happening so quick, so fast. Explosions. Oh God, all this. And then we're supposed to have feels. I'm waffling because I'm severely disappointed in how simply boring a lot of this season was, how pointless a lot of this season was, and how little we had of any sort of real development between Grogu and Din Djarin. At the end of season 2, we had this massive separation, which, whether you liked the appearance of Luke Skywalker or not, we still had this really emotionally charged separation of Grogu and Din Djarin, and you really felt something. Here, they're magically back together. If you've not watched the Book of Boba Fett, you have no idea how they're back together. They're back together, and, you'd think, okay, well, how do they go from here? You would hope this season would focus on their character dynamic. What happens now? How does Din go about, looking after this child? What does he do? Does he help him develop his powers as much as possible while showing him the Mandalorian way? We get flecks of that in the season, but it's only side notes in amongst everybody else's developing arcs. And the final sort of element of this finale is, oh, well, I will take him as my son. Oh, okay. That kind of came out of nowhere. Great. Cool. Where's the emotional arc that, brings you to this decision? What trials and tribulations have you been through in this season? Oh, we nearly got sliced by Praetorian guards. Oh, okay. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Yeah, I'm very disappointed in this series. I'm not going to speak much further on it. I'm not even going to give it a score because overall, I've just not enjoyed it. I've not enjoyed it. I think it's carried over a lot of the writing issues that were plaguing the Book of Boba Fett, that were plaguing even Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think something's happened in the writing room where they're just keen to thrash out as much as possible, as quickly as possible, and at the sacrifice of meaningful character development. I didn't even believe a whole lot of what Bo-Katan was going through. Her challenges, her her change, her coming back together, bringing everything together for the Mandalorians. I just didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. It's all just phrases and lines of dialogue being uttered without any true sense of purpose. And it's not a knock on the acting. The acting's great. It always has been. It is literally just the dialogue is arse. It's arse. So I'm going to leave it there. It's a bit of a haphazard review, this, because, like I said, I was playing massive catch-up due to being away on holiday, and, I'm expecting nobody to watch this, so it is what it is. If you have enjoyed this series, then that's fine. For me, it's been hollow, it's been lackluster, it's been a shade of its former self. That first season, when it was, an interesting, variation on what we've come to see, and now we're just playing action figures with everybody else's toys, rather than focusing on the toys that we've got, the main toy. But it doesn't matter, because a new toy will be coming out, and it will have Grogu in the IG-11 suit, even though it only uses it for an episode and a half. And then but it's going to sell massive. It's going to be massive, man. It's going to be great. So yeah, my prediction about him wearing a Mandalorian helmet went out the water, but maybe that'll be next season. I don't know. The only good thing I will say about this season is that it ends with Din Djarin and Grogu having their own little plot of land. Very Western feel. Yeah, this is what we wanted. We wanted them together. And this season ends with them sat together in a nice, lovely little plot of land that Grief Karga has given them, and it feels like living on the plains, living on the Great Plains, in a world which is harsh and unforgiving, and yet Din Djarin appears to have peace. He appears to be at ease, and his journey, as he says, I'm going to take him around. I'm going to show him the galaxy and present challenges. Well, that's what this season should have been. This season should have been, well, I've got this foundling in my charge. We need to go off. We need to go and do stuff. And then focus on that, rather than everybody else's fucking problems. Never mind. Maybe next season will be better when we're doing episode of the week. Bounty hunting. Problem solving. Character building, character development. Grogu gets in trouble, Din gets in trouble, they help each other, things like that. We only saw that very briefly in this season with the spider creature. But oh well, I'm going to leave that review there. And that's it. Do better, please. I'm now at the position I was with Andor, where I'm a little bit worried about Ahsoka. A little bit worried. Because I'm a big fan of Ahsoka Tano, and now I'm feeling a bit antsy. But there you go. I'm going to end the review there. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more reviews like this. Eventually, my base of operations will be back up and running, so I'll be looking to do more editing and putting clips in, like I used to, such as life. Things have to be recorded on the phone at the moment. So thank you very much. Bye bye.